Deep within you there is a stirring, a longing for answers and for meaning that goes beyond what you have known. You are in the right place. You are seen and embraced right now as you read these words. There is a truth I am about to reveal to you, something that will unveil depths of my heart you may have never touched before. Listen carefully, for in this quiet exchange your spirit may awaken to a reality that changes everything. Do not turn away or let the noise of the world drown out my voice, for what is at stake is the healing, freedom, and joy I long to pour into your life. This is not an echo of old words spoken from a distance. I am speaking here now, directly to you as a parent to a beloved child. This is not another lesson, but a living conversation with the one who formed you. You have been carrying burdens that were never meant to be yours alone. Each day, as you rise, there is a weight pressing on your heart and mind, and sometimes you wonder if it will ever be lifted. I see every sigh, every quiet tear, and every silent hope you dare to hold. You may not realize the depth of my investment in your journey, but I have been walking each step with you, quietly strengthening you when the days are longest. There is nothing you face that I am not intimately aware of, and nothing you bring before me that makes me turn away. Even in your moments of doubt and frailty, my presence surrounds you, waiting to bring comfort, guidance, and renewal if you open your heart. You may feel overlooked in this vast world, yet I want you to know that you are noticed, cherished, uniquely precious to me. Your thoughts, even the ones you hesitate to speak aloud, are known to me. When confusion clouds your path and fear tries to whisper that you are alone, remember that I am near. My nearness is not distant or vague, but closer to you than your own breath, an abiding presence that never leaves, even when circumstances feel otherwise. I have chosen this moment to remind you of the assurance and hope that cannot be shaken by storms, disappointment, or the shifting winds of human opinion. All around you, voices compete for your attention, promising peace or fulfillment, if only you strive harder or become someone else. But the peace I offer does not come by earning or striving. It flows from resting in my love. My invitation is not based on your perfection or achievements, but on my everlasting faithfulness. You do not need to fix yourself in order to draw near to me. Bring me your confusion, exhaustion, and even your hidden frustrations. Invite me into your questions, because your honesty delights me. I have chosen you, not because you are flawless, but because you are mine, crafted with purpose and infinite care. In every season of your life, I have been working in ways you could not see, allowing circumstances to prepare you for something fuller and more beautiful than you could now imagine. There are gifts inside you, placed there by my hand, that are just beginning to awaken. Sometimes, the broken places have felt like disqualifications, as though you are forever marked by your pain or failures. But these are not the last word over your life. My power is able to transform wounds into wells of wisdom, and even your scars can become sources of healing for others. Do not shrink back from your own story, for it carries a testimony of redemption that can bring light to many. I see you reaching out for understanding, hoping for a sign or a word that will breathe life into your weary soul. Know that this longing itself is a testimony to my spirit moving within you, drawing you closer to me. Even when the answers seem frustratingly delayed, do not lose heart. There is meaning in your waiting, and I am using this very process to tenderize your heart and make you receptive to my voice. Resist the urge to run ahead, or to numb yourself with distractions when disappointment presses in. Instead, bring your heart honestly before me, for I cherish sincerity more than display. You may wonder why hardships linger or prayers seem unanswered, but I am always at work both in the seen and unseen realms, cultivating resilience, compassion, and deeper faith within you. Trust that I am not wasting your pain or allowing your tears to fall unnoticed. What you consider as delays are sometimes my loving protection. aligning you with greater promises that you have dared to hope for. My wisdom weaves together every circumstance to create opportunities for you to encounter my goodness in unexpected ways. There are moments when shame tries to convince you that you are disqualified, that your past or present failings have built a wall between us. Listen to me. Nothing in all creation can separate you from my committed love. Your regrets do not define your worth, and your mistakes are not stumbling blocks I use against you. My forgiveness is not just an abstract idea, it is the declaration that your failures have been nailed to a cross, and your future is secure in my hands. Accept the freedom I am offering. There is no need to hide or strive, but simply to receive and rest in all that has been done for you. When anxiety rises and you feel powerless, remember that my sovereignty is not threatened by your weakness. In fact, it is in your weakness that my strength is made most visible. Let go of the illusion that you must have everything under control. Instead, hand me your anxieties and allow me to shoulder what you cannot bear. I will hold your heart steady and lead you with gentle strength, even when the path is unclear. Trust grows in the soil of surrender, not striving. As you release your burdens, my peace will begin to guard your mind and heart in ways you never thought possible. The life I call you to is not one of fear or relentless striving, but of courage shaped by love. You are invited to move forward, not because the way is always easy or the path is free from obstacles, but because I will walk every step with you. You will rise, not through your own might, but because I am lifting you and making a way where there was none. As you learn to listen for my voice and heed my gentle promptings, you will discover a strength so steadfast and a joy so deep that it will overflow from your life into the lives of others. Let your heart rest now in this promise. You are fully known, deeply loved, and never alone. You sense my nearness, even now, a gentle stirring within, a soft awareness that you are not alone. Do not dismiss these moments as mere fleeting feelings, for I have chosen to be present with you. I look upon you with eyes of understanding and mercy, knowing every longing you try to voice and every ache you set aside. Let my words reach the hidden corners of your heart, for this is not just a passage for reading. This is an unfolding conversation between your soul and my own boundless love. My voice seeks you out, not just to comfort, but also to remind you that your story is woven with purpose that only I can fully reveal. Each day you gather worries like stones in your hands, silent burdens you carry beneath the surface where no one else can see. I perceive these weights, and I invite you to release them, if only for these moments. Allow yourself to ungrip, to rest, to permit my compassion to meet you where you are most tired. I am not a distant watcher. I am the one who shaped your life, who planted hope in you when you least expected it. There is nothing insignificant about the way you feel, nothing too small for my attention. Your daily struggles and victories matter to me just as deeply as the paths of the greatest kings. For I measure worth not by the world's standard, but by the care and tenderness I have set upon you. Perhaps you wonder if you matter enough to be singled out among so many. Let me assure you, you are never a face in a crowd to me. I have always known your laughter and your tears, even those shed in silence. I search out every hidden part of you, and I do so not to judge, but to heal, to restore, and to draw you nearer. When you feel disconnected, overlooked, or misunderstood, come to me in trust. Let me be the refuge you seek. Just a whisper of honest prayer brings my attention close. I am more ready to listen than you are to speak, and I treasure even your smallest offerings of hope and faith. Let these words become a resting place for your questions, doubts, and unfinished prayers. I am not frightened by your uncertainty. Bring it to me. There is room for everything you carry, and I hold it with patience and wisdom. You need not fear that your weaknesses will disqualify you from my presence. If anything, they become the very doorway through which my strength unfolds. Where you see brokenness and flaws, I see opportunity for love to grow deeper. You believe you must come to me with perfection, but truly, it is your openness, your willingness to be real, that moves my heart most deeply. Do not hide your scars from me. I am the one who creates beauty out of ashes, and I am preparing to show you how even your struggles have a purpose written by my own hand. Trust that you are seen in full, embraced as you are, and as you are becoming. When you sit quietly and sense your restless thoughts, know that I am not there to rebuke, but to invite you to stillness, to draw you into a quiet where your spirit can breathe. You may have heard many voices telling you who you ought to be and what you should achieve. My voice is gentle but unwavering. You are loved because you are. Mine not for your performance, but because I crafted your soul from infinite love. Let me remind you of your worth. Let my words rebuild what disappointment has broken down. I am always in the business of restoring hope, of breathing life into what looks lost, of giving second chances again and again. When you recall past regrets, do not let them chain you. In my presence, yesterday's shadows lose power. I work in the present tense. My mercies are new each moment. The world may demand explanations or perfection, but I delight in your willingness to start again. Do not underestimate how powerful your desire to draw near truly island. Every step toward me, no matter how small, is precious in my sight. Stay close. Nothing is wasted. Not a single tear, not a single breath, offered in longing or repentance. I am healing places in you where you have quietly given up hope. I am mending the pieces you thought could never fit together again. When you feel alone in your struggle, remember that I am always working in ways you cannot see. My love is constantly woven into your ordinary, unseen moments. When fatigue weighs on you, I carry what you cannot. You do not have to muster strength alone. Lean into the assurance that I am guiding and sustaining you when you feel weakest. I do not recoil from your pain. I move toward it. My compassion is deepest where you feel most fragile. Bring honesty to me, whether it is faith or fear, gratitude or confusion. In the shelter of my love, you are safe to bring your whole self. I know the things you cannot admit to anyone else, and still, I call you beloved. Do not allow comparison to distract or discourage you. The journey I have shaped for you is distinct, and your value is not put in question by the accomplishments or failings of others. The world sees from the outside, but I see from within. I do not measure your life by fleeting standards, but by the richness of your trust, your resilience, your compassion. Every time you love despite disappointment, every act of kindness done in secret, every gentle choice when anger would have been easier, I see it, and I rejoice in you. Let this knowledge quiet the urge to prove yourself. Rest in my love, and let it do the healing only I can accomplish in your heart. There will be moments when you sense your limitations more sharply, when you wonder if you have enough for the days ahead. Remember that my strength is most visible in your need. As you release your false sense of control, you make room for my grace to fill you anew. My power is not for the perfect, but for the willing. Offer up what you have, and let me multiply your smallness into abundance. You are not called to a life of striving, but to a daily walk of trust, one step at a time, hand in hand with me, even when the path feels uncertain. You are not behind or lost. You are right where I desire to meet you. Let your heart rest in the certainty that I am for you, not against you. In the noise and confusion of the world, let my voice become the clear anchor for your soul. Open yourself to hope, even when circumstances have tried to convince you otherwise. I am faithful, and my promises are not empty words. They are seeds which will bear fruit in your life. Surrender your timeline and expectations to me. In my perfect wisdom, I am working all things together for your good, often in ways you do not see or understand. Trust that answers will come. In the waiting, I am building something beautiful in you. I see the tangled branches of your story, the wounds you cover from the world, and even those you try to hide from yourself. There are moments when you may believe your failures define you, when regrets from yesterday echo louder than the promises I have for your tomorrow. But I do not see you as the sum of your stumblings. My sight goes deeper. I look upon you with the eyes of perfect love, a love that gathers every scattered piece and calls you whole. I am not wearied by your struggles or disillusioned by your questions. Instead, I walk with you through the dry valleys when your heart feels heavy, and I celebrate with you on the mountaintops, reminding you that both joy and sorrow can be cradled in my hands. There may be times when shame weighs on your shoulders, pressing you low, whispering that you are unworthy to come before me. But I reach for you, not with accusations, but with an embrace. When you hesitate outside the gates of my presence, uncertain of your welcome, I hasten to open every door. I do not keep a tally of your mistakes, as if they were barriers between us. I long for the closeness of your company. You were never meant to journey alone, or carry burdens that crush your spirit. In me, restoration is not a distant hope, it is woven into each moment you draw breath. You crave answers when life's path winds into darkness. You seek control when chaos threatens your comfort. But what if the questions themselves are invitations to trust? What if the uncharted places are not voids without purpose, but arenas where my faithfulness can be revealed in ways you have never known? Surrender does not diminish your value, it amplifies it. To let go of your fears, your ideals of perfection, and your anxious grasping for certainty is not weakness. It is the foundation on which my strength can be displayed in you. I have always worked through humble, surrendered hearts, transforming the overlooked and the ordinary into vessels of my extraordinary light. Sometimes you measure your worth by achievements, the affection of others, or your ability to fix what is broken. Yet I desire something deeper than outward trophies or fleeting approval. I want your trust, your raw prayers in the midnight silence, your willingness to return to me again and again. I am not seeking your flawless performance. I am seeking your honest heart. Every moment you draw near, even in your weakness, becomes an anthem that resounds in the courts of heaven. Do you know how precious is the offering of a soul determined, despite the bruises, to keep seeking me? Nothing you do for love is ever wasted or unseen. My love is not rationed out according to your efforts or withdrawn when your strength falters. It is the river that runs beneath every season of your life, whether you feel its current or not. In your days of triumph, I dance over you with joy. In your days of despair, I sit with you in the quiet, bearing your pain as my own. When you cry out for rescue, I draw near. When you walk amid shadows, my presence becomes your guiding light. You are not invisible to me. The tapestry of your existence, each sorrow, each hope, is precious to me. Your future is not determined by fear, nor is your present limited by uncertainty. The horizon of my plans for you stretches far beyond what you can imagine. I am not impatient with your questions, nor am I unsettled by your fears. I understand the ache of waiting, the fatigue that comes when promises seem slow to unfold. Trust this, the seed pressed into the earth is never forgotten. In the hidden places, my work matures. Some answers may only take root after time and tears, but no prayer returns to you empty. I am working in the seen and unseen, and nothing is outside the reach of my redeeming power. Bring every concern to me, even the smallest anxieties and doubts that flutter at the edge of your mind. Do not believe the lie that you must handle things alone or tidy up your soul before you approach my throne. I am the God who welcomes honest confessions and cups your trembling hands in mine. Let go of the need to have all the answers, for I am the answer that abides with you. I long to speak peace into the storm within your heart. I long to remind you that your identity is rooted not in your shifting emotions, but in my unwavering delight in you. If you could glimpse what I see when I look at you, every shadow of self-doubt would be scattered by sunlight. You are my beloved. Your flaws do not disqualify you from my affection. They simply create more space for my mercy to enter and restore. When you stumble, I am not surprised or disappointed beyond patience. I see the longing buried beneath your struggles, the hope for healing, the craving for kindness, the wish to be known and cherished. With me, you are not required to wear masks or armor. I celebrate your victories, but I dwell with you most tenderly in your frailties. Every story you believe about your value must be measured against my words, not the shifting sands of culture or the fleeting judgments of people. What I declare over you is eternal. You are chosen, not just called, embraced, not merely tolerated. The world may label you by your weaknesses, but I name you according to your eternal purpose. I have seen every day of your life before one of them came to be. My plans for you are woven with care, stronger than any storm you could face. When disappointment tries to root itself in your soul, remember, I am the gardener who nurtures what seems withered. My faithfulness does not expire when hopes are deferred. If the night feels long, I am the one who promises dawn. Even your tears, gathered as they fall, water the ground for new beginnings. Surrender your sorrow and let me sow joy where despair once threatened to grow. In your honest coming to me, in your willingness to trust beyond what you can see, you give me room to do the miraculous. You are not defined by your fears or failures. My love covers, corrects, and raises you up. So let hope rise, even when you cannot see its source. Allow me to be the anchor for your soul, steady amid the tempests. My grace is more than a remedy for past mistakes. It is the promise of transformation, of new mercies with every sunrise. In my presence, your story is not over. It is being rewritten with every yes you offer me, every act of believing when it would be easier to let go. See now how the desires that stir within your heart are not foreign to me. I am intimately aware of each longing that stirs in the depths of your being. When you yearn for love, connection, acceptance, know that it is I who have designed you for relationship both with others and most intimately with myself. Your search for meaning is not mere wandering, for all true longing finds its answer in my presence. Even when you chase after fleeting satisfactions, I do not turn away in disappointment, for I know what it is to hunger and thirst, and I offer you living water that will never run dry. Take rest from trying to earn your place, for in my kingdom you are a beloved child, not a laborer determined only by accomplishment. My joy is not sparked solely by your victories, nor am I discouraged by your defeats. I rejoice simply because you are mine, crafted by my own hands, loved before the first word was spoken over creation. Remember that I see you as you truly are, beyond the masks you wear and the faces you present to the world. There is no flaw or failing that can disqualify you from my love. If shame speaks loudly in your ear, know that I am gentle in my correction, and I always lead you back to the truth that you are enough in my sight. Let go of the voices that plant doubt and distrust in your mind. Their whispers do not reflect my heart for you. I do not compare you to others, or measure you against unreachable ideals. My delight is in the journey we share together, every small step of faith, every time you choose to turn toward me despite the confusion or pain. In the midst of chaos, when storms rage inside and all around, still I am the steady presence you can cling to. When worry presses in and fear steals your peace, remember that I am not at the mercy of circumstance. My power is made perfect in your weakness, and my peace does not depend on the world being calm. Even as winds howl and uncertainties gather, I am the shelter that never fails. Under the shadow of my wings, you will find refuge and strength. Come to me with your anxiety and your burdens. I invite you, not to weigh you down with demands, but to set you free with the assurance of my faithfulness. I see every tear you have shed, every prayer whispered in the darkness, every unspoken hope. Nothing escapes my attention. When you feel invisible to others, know that I bend low to listen, that I keep track of every detail of your story. My compassion is not distant. I am near to the broken-hearted, and I bind up wounds with tenderness. I know the pain of betrayal, of loneliness, of dreams deferred. I have entered your suffering not as a spectator, but as the God who bears it with you. When the weight of sorrow threatens to crush your spirit, lean into my embrace. Allow me to lift your eyes, even when hope seems faint on the horizon. Let me assure you, you do not have to strive alone to become worthy of love or acceptance. In fact, you could never achieve this through your own efforts, so I have lavished unearned abundant grace on you. As you walk with me, my spirit gently transforms your heart from the inside, softening the places grown hard through disappointment and fear. This transformation is a gift, not a demand. You are invited to rest in the knowledge that my love is both the foundation and the fuel for your growth. I am patient. I know that healing takes time and that true change grows beneath the surface long before it bears fruit. Do not despise your small beginnings, for I rejoice in every seed of trust you plant in faith. I have chosen you not because you are perfect, but because you are precious to me. Before you did anything to earn my favor, I set my affection upon you. No mistake can erase the destiny I have woven into your life. Trust that I am able to bring beauty from ashes, redemption from destruction, renewal from brokenness. It is my joy to take what has been shattered and, with loving hands, make something more beautiful than before. Bring your whole self to me, your doubts and your certainties, your strength and your failures, your laughter and your lament. There is no part of your story that I cannot redeem. Trust me with the places that feel beyond healing. I am nearer than you know, gently restoring what you have thought was lost forever. As you turn your face towards me, let your heart receive the assurance of my steady faithfulness. I do not tire, nor do I turn away in your weakest moments. My commitment to you is stronger than your doubts, than your confusion, even than your wavering on the hardest days. When you stumble, my hands are ready to catch you. When you fall, I lift you up not in condemnation, but in compassion and hope. I am not a distant judge waiting for your defeat. I am the loving Father rejoicing over your courage to rise again. Every day is a new beginning, held in the palm of my hand, brimming with mercy anew. My mercies are not rationed according to your performance. They flow freely, meant to restore your weary soul and remind you of the unshakable reality of my love. You may sometimes feel that your prayers vanish into silence, that your efforts are unseen, that your waiting is in vain. But I am the God who sees, who hears, who answers in ways that are beyond your understanding. Patience is not punishment, but preparation. In the hidden seasons, I am cultivating strength, deepening roots, fortifying your spirit for the blessings yet to unfold. Trust that I waste nothing, not even your pain or your frustration. All things are being woven together by my loving hand, threads of joy and sorrow, of hope and heartbreak, into a tapestry that will one day reveal my goodness in radiant detail. Let gratitude become your anchor, even in seasons of uncertainty. Do not wait for circumstances to be perfect before you give thanks. Open your eyes to the gifts woven throughout your days, the laughter shared, the beauty that appears unexpectedly, the comfort of kindness found in surprising places. Let these moments nourish your spirit and remind you that I am present and providing always. Gratitude is not denying your struggles, but choosing to recognize my grace at work within them. As you lean into Thanksgiving, you will find your perspective shifting, your heart expanding, and joy taking root even in difficult soil. I invite you to trust me with the timing of your life. There are doors you long to see opened, answers you wait for with aching anticipation. You wonder why I sometimes seem to delay or withhold. Know that my wisdom is far greater than your understanding. I see the end from the beginning, each step necessary and significant. My timing is perfect, not always easy, but always purposeful. When you cannot trace my hand, trust my heart. I have good plans for you, and I will not let your hope be put to shame. Surrender your timelines and expectations to me, not out of resignation, but out of confidence in my unfailing love. I see how your heart sometimes hesitates, wondering whether you are truly chosen, truly loved, or if I have possibly overlooked you in the tide of humanity. Let me remind you with gentleness and strength that you are known fully. Not one aspect of your life escapes. I notice what delights you in secret, what burdens you in silence, and even the questions you've tucked away, thinking they are too small or too complex for me to care about. Every word on your tongue, every longing in your heart, I understand intimately, for I shaped you with purpose and affection before you took your first breath. Even when you feel the press of loneliness or the sting of rejection, I stand unwavering at your side, never stepping back, never growing weary of your company. There are days when the world delivers harsh judgments, where the voices around you, or even within you, seem to speak only of your flaws, your mistakes, and the moments you wish you could undo. Let me cradle you in truth. My view of you goes far deeper than surface imperfections. I call out the beauty within you, the courage to keep trying, the compassion you show, the resilience that sparks even when you think you have nothing left. When you come to me with empty hands or a weary soul, I do not demand brilliance or accomplishment. I welcome you with joy, eager simply to have you near, ready to fill what you lack with my overflowing presence. If you could see for a moment how I look at you, your doubts would melt away. I see the entirety of your story, not with disappointment, but with deep delight for every moment you've risked loving, forgiving, or hoping. In every challenge you face, in each setback that weighs you down, I am not distant. I am working behind the scenes, weaving redemption and beauty out of pain. Even when it seems to you like nothing is changing, know that my hands are shaping a future far gentler and richer than you could yet imagine. Give me your disappointments and your unspoken dreams, and watch as I plant new seeds of promise in your life. Faith, my beloved, is not about having everything figured out, nor is it measured by the intensity of your emotions. At times it is simply saying yes to me when everything around you urges you to step back. It is confessing your limitations, your fears, and your hopes, and choosing my way above your own understanding. I know how risky it feels to surrender, to open your heart fully to me while the world around you feels unpredictable or unsafe. But true security comes not from controlling every outcome, but from resting in my steadfast love, which surrounds you more surely than the ground beneath your feet or the sky above your head. Let me guide you in paths that honor who you truly are. Too often you are pulled in so many directions, driven by the demands and expectations of others, or by your own inner critic. Step away from these noisy voices. Listen instead for the gentle whisper of my spirit, who leads you into truth and peace. If you lose your way, do not shame yourself. Run to me, and I will always lead you home. Repentance is not a punishment or a humiliation. It is a gift, a fresh invitation to turn from all that entangles you, to breathe again the air of my freedom and renewal. In my eyes, your worth is neither increased by your successes nor diminished by your failures. You are precious, simply because I have chosen to love you, and my love is unshakable. Sometimes your heart aches over the suffering and brokenness of the world. Let this compassion move you, but do not allow despair to take root. I see every tear, every injustice, and I am not idle. I have called you not to be crushed by the darkness, but to carry my light into shadowed places. As you extend a kind word, a helping hand, or faithful prayer, you partner with me in bringing hope to those who need it most. Do not believe the lie that your contribution is too small to matter. Every act of love in my name is like a seed, invisible at first, but guaranteed to bear fruit in its season. Persevere in kindness, even when it feels unnoticed, and I will reward you with joy that cannot be taken away. You long for intimacy not just with others, but with me. Let this longing draw you into my embrace, where you are free to be your truest self. In quiet moments as you open your heart to me, I pour out wisdom, comfort, and strength that surpasses anything you could muster on your own. I wait for you, not with impatient expectation, but with delighted anticipation. Bring me your laughter, your tears, your questions, and your praise. I cherish all of it, and I treasure every moment spent with you. Rest in my presence, knowing that I am more than able to carry the weight of your life. I know you sometimes wrestle with disappointment over prayers that seem to go unanswered, doors that remain closed, or hopes deferred. Trust that my timing is perfect, even when you cannot yet see how all things will work out. I withhold nothing good from you. Every delay, every detour, is shaped by my loving wisdom and desire for your highest good. When you lean into patience, surrendering your timeline for mine, I transform waiting into preparation. I grow your faith, your character, and your capacity to receive greater things. Do not lose heart. In every season, my goodness will pursue you, never letting you fall beyond the reach of my arms. Remember, too, that I call you not just to seek me for yourself, but to walk in community, to love, encourage, and forgive those around you. You are a gift to others, just as they are to you. As you risk honesty, as you choose grace over judgment, you will discover my presence in new and surprising ways. Let relationships become a space where my healing and joy can flourish. Where you find it hard to trust again, ask me for courage. Where old wounds threaten your peace, invite me into the deepest places of your heart, and watch as I bring restoration and new beginnings. I am the God who makes all things new, and there is nothing, no pain, no loss, no regret that I cannot transform by my love. Continue on your journey with confidence, not in your perfection, but in my unfailing compassion. Even when the mountains seem unmovable or the valleys unending, my promise is to be your constant companion, whispering hope when you are weary, and singing over you in joy when you are strong. Your story unfolds one day at a time, and I rejoice in every step you take with me. Nothing is lost in my sight, not your smallest act of obedience, nor your greatest struggles. Hold fast, and know that you are deeply cherished, divinely led, and eternally secure in my love. Let your heart find assurance in my unwavering presence. Even as you walk through circumstances that seem unyielding or dark, know that I am never far from you. When doubts whisper in the corners of your mind, remember that my promises hold firm like anchors in a restless sea. There is no place you can wander that my gaze cannot reach, no silence I do not hear, no wound I do not notice or tend. I invite you to bring all your burdens to me, not only those you think worthy of my attention, but every ache, every small sorrow, every fear you try to hide from even yourself. I desire your honesty, not your perfection, for it is in your vulnerability that my love can work most deeply in your soul. Sometimes you feel the weight of old memories, or are haunted by past failures. My beloved, you are learning to let go not by force, but by grace. Each moment you choose to trust me with your yesterday, you open your hands to receive my new mercies for today. Consider how the dew falls freshly every morning. So too does my forgiveness greet you at every dawn. Shame and regret are heavy stones you need not carry. I have already chosen to cast them away, as far as the sunrise is from the sunset. My desire is not for you to walk stooped beneath the burdens the world or your own heart would place upon you, but to step freely in the lightness of my acceptance. You often wonder about your worth, measuring yourself by what you achieve or how you are perceived. Yet my delight in you is rooted not in your performance but in your being. Before you spoke a word, before you made a choice, I rejoiced in creating you. My joy in you is steadfast through your victories and your struggles, for you are fearfully and wonderfully made. When you look in the mirror and only see flaws or incompleteness, know that I see the unfolding beauty of my handiwork. Trust in my shaping process, as a potter patiently refines the clay, attending to every imperfection with skillful hands and a loving heart. I ask you to be patient with yourself, just as I am patient with you. Growth often happens in seasons hidden from your sight, beneath the soil where roots quietly strengthen. Do not despise small beginnings or slow progress, for every step toward me is precious and counted. The world may urge you to rush, to prove, to grasp at success by its standards, but my ways are slower, deeper, gentler. I refine you little by little, teaching resilience through hardships and softening your heart with compassion born from pain. In the trials you face, I am not absent, but working in the shadows to bring forth a harvest more abundant than you can now imagine. At times, you may feel isolated, convinced that no one else understands the intricacies of your journey. Remember, I crafted your soul and know your story from start to finish. I see the silent tears, the dreams you scarcely dare to speak aloud, the questions that tug at your peace. You are not alone on this path. I walk beside you, even when others falter or fail to notice your need. When your voice trembles or words escape you, my spirit intercedes for you with understanding deeper than language. Press closer to me in moments of solitude, for there you may hear the whispers of grace meant only for you, words of affirmation, direction, and hope. I want you to live in the steady assurance of my love, not tossed here and there by changing circumstances. Anchoring your identity in me frees you from the tyranny of comparison and the anxiety of uncertainty. My love for you is not conditional upon your mood, your progress, or the opinions of others. Even when storms rage, my embrace is sure. Settle yourself often under the shelter of my wings, allowing my presence to be your rest and refuge. In me, you do not need to strive or audition. You are already chosen, already cared for beyond measure. Let your heart awaken to possibilities you have not dared to consider. I sow the seeds of hope even in the barren places you thought long forsaken. Do not doubt the power of a single act of faith, a single prayer whispered in the darkness, for I am attentive to every stir of your spirit toward me. Where you see only impossibility, I weave new beginnings. Gaze beyond the horizon of your own understanding, trusting that I go before you, making a way where none seems visible. I redeem what seems wasted, restoring years and opportunities you thought were lost beyond retrieval. When anger or bitterness tightens within you, release these burdens to me. My desire is to heal, not to condemn. Every emotion you bring to me, joy, sorrow, confusion, disappointment, I receive without judgment. It is safe to pour out your heart honestly, for I am slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. Let unforgiveness lose its grip, as you remember how freely I have forgiven you. This grace, when received fully, becomes the wellspring of strength you need to extend mercy to others, even those who have caused you pain. Healing begins where pride ends, and humility invites restoration. There will be days when your faith feels fragile, uncertain, or barely present. Never measure my devotion to you by the strength of your feelings. Even when you cannot sense my nearness, I am at work in the unseen. Trust in my promises when emotions waver, holding fast to the truth that I do not change. I am the same yesterday, today and forever, and my commitment to you endures beyond the shifting sands of circumstance or mood. Persevere in seeking me, knowing that every moment of honest pursuit draws you deeper into the warmth and reality of my love. Open your life to the gentle discipline of gratitude. Notice the miracles woven into ordinary days, the sun rising faithfully, the breath in your lungs, the unexpected kindness of a friend, the quiet beauty found in nature's rhythms. Thanksgiving is not mere politeness, but a posture of spirit that unlocks joy even in trouble. As you choose to bless rather than curse, to praise rather than complain, you tune your heart to the music of heaven. Gratitude is a doorway through which peace flows, washing over your worry with reminders of my goodness and my attentive care for your every need. Rejoice not just in the gifts, but in the giver who delights in walking with you always. The journey you are on with me continues to unfold, step by step, just as a river carves its path over time. My patience is deep and far-reaching, embracing your every hesitation and faltering. There are moments when your hands feel empty, when your efforts seem to dissolve before your eyes, but I want you to know that I gather every fragment and sigh. Nothing you offer me is lost. Life often tells you that unless your output is spectacular, it does not matter. But I measure with a different scale. I see the quiet sacrifices, the words no one hears, the discipline behind closed doors. Even when you grieve over your limits, I draw near in tender understanding, glad for your willingness to keep walking with me, even in weakness. Remember, the vine produces fruit not by endless striving, but by remaining in the nourishing embrace of the root. Trust the slow, hidden work I am doing within you. I am forming something that will outlast this present moment. Let me lift the burden you cling to when you insist on fixing everything by your own power. So often, my beloved ones become anxious builders, always measuring their worth by what they have constructed or accomplished. You do not need to secure your own place at my table through endless proving and striving. I already prepared your seat, and my invitation is not revoked by mistakes or detours. Let your heart rest in that reality for a moment. When you awaken in the morning, I am already with you, quietly whispering that your life is not held together by your perfection. When you feel overwhelmed by failures or broken dreams, let me be the one who gently gathers you and reminds you that belovedness is not earned, it is freely given. Even now, I see the places where you are weary, disappointed, and uncertain, and my response is not harshness, but merciful acceptance and steadfast love. The world will change around you, but my posture toward you never shifts. Sometimes uncertainty and fear seem to coil tightly around your heart, threatening to suffocate hope. I do not despise your fears. Instead, I meet you in the midst of them, breathing courage where you least expect it. Courage in my kingdom does not always look like loud declarations or heroic leaps. Sometimes it is the simple act of getting up one more time, speaking kindness when it costs you, or choosing to trust when the outcome is unclear. I am not disappointed by your trembling knees. Rather, I celebrate your small steps of faith. Doubt is not a barrier to my love, and questions do not disqualify you. Even when your faith feels as fragile as a flickering candle, remember that I am the one who shelters the flame, protecting it from the storm until it grows strong. Lean into my voice above all others. So many sounds in this world clamor for your allegiance. Voices of shame, comparison, pride, and fear. But I call you deeper, not into endless noise, but into stillness. Listen for the quiet assurance that I am for you, not against you. As you sit in silence, I desire to reveal hidden treasures in your soul, to uncover dreams and purposes that have long lain dormant. Do not fear the quiet, for it is in the silent spaces that my whispers become clearest. I am not far away. I am nearer than your breath. When confusion swirls and you feel lost, It is my hand that reaches for yours, my light that gently steadies your steps through the fog. You may worry about what others think, about disappointing those you love, or about being misunderstood. Yet I want you to know that your identity is anchored in who I declare you to be, not in shifting opinions or fractured relationships. My love forms the foundation that no storm can erode. When you start to question your worth, come to me and let me remind you that you are known and chosen, even when rejection echoes in your ears. I see every part of your story, the celebrated moments and the private struggles, and I do not withdraw my affection based on your performance. You are my beloved, cherished not because you have earned it, but because I have called you mine. Let hope anchor you amid the changing tides. Hope is not naivete or denial of hard realities. It is the stubborn confidence that even now I am working redemption in places that seem irreparable. You do not always see the full picture, but I ask you to trust that my hands are gentle and wise. Whether you see immediate outcomes or not, trust the seeds you have sown in faith and love. I am the gardener who brings life from barren ground, and nothing is wasted in my care. The tears you have cried in secret are precious to me. I gather them as seeds, watering the soil for a harvest you have yet to imagine. When you feel alone, remember that even in the desert, I make streams flow. I do not abandon you in dry places. Rather, I teach you to see the beauty growing between the rocks. Sometimes waiting is an invitation to deeper reliance, to discovering joy that is not dictated by circumstance. Your journey is neither random nor forgotten. Every season, whether marked by abundance or by loss, is woven into the tapestry of my purpose for you. I understand your impatience, and I delight in your honesty. Bring your frustrations and longings to me, for I care, not just about your victories, but also about your tears and your waiting. There is a gentle power released when you surrender control and open your hands to me. Let me show you new pathways you had not considered. I often lead in ways that are unexpected, through doors you would not have chosen, or by means that defy your plans. Trust that I do not waste a single detour. What looks like delay may be fertile ground for deeper growth and preparation. I am not in a hurry with you. My pace is steady and sure. Walk with me, even through the slow unfolding, and know that your story is precious in my eyes. You were created for belonging. You need not strive to manufacture closeness with me, for I draw near to you out of delight. When you ache for connection or long for understanding, let me fill the gaps that no earthly relationship can satisfy. My love is the home your heart has always searched for, a place of welcome without pretense, of safety without conditions. I rejoice over you, not because you have figured it all out, but simply because you exist and have chosen me in return. Rest in the confidence that your belonging is secure, unshakable, and anchored in my everlasting embrace. I have watched how you search for meaning in many places, sometimes wandering quietly in your own mind, sometimes wrestling with unspoken doubts beneath the surface of your life. I have never judged these questions nor turned from your uncertainty. Instead, I have witnessed every honest yearning, the moments when you feel adrift, even while surrounded by others, always yearning for a deeper validation, for something or someone to call you beloved. Know that I planted that longing within you, not as a burden, but as an invitation. You sense the emptiness of things that promise much but fade quickly, and underneath it all you hear my whisper calling you home. Let me reassure you, there is no better refuge than my heart, no surer resting place for the weary. The world tries to sell you comfort that does not last, distractions that numb but never heal. I alone can enter the deep parts of you, bringing not only relief but transformation, taking what was broken and making it whole, teaching you to know peace not as a fleeting mood, but as the very river flowing beneath your days. Quiet moments with me will reveal more to you than years of striving for approval elsewhere. In your tenderness and vulnerability, There is great beauty. You don't need to harden yourself to feel safe. You don't need to wear masks with me. My faithfulness never depends on your flawless performance. I am not watching for you to stumble so I can withdraw. I am always drawing nearer, eager to comfort, to lift you up even before your own strength returns. Consider what it means truly to rely on me not out of duty, but as a source of real delight and trust. What could your days become if you lived like you were truly cared for, guided, and cherished beyond measure? Let your heart be receptive to gentle correction, not as shame, but as a loving hand steering you away from harm. When you resist my voice, you often feel more anxious, not less, because you were not designed to navigate life alone or weigh yourself down with impossible expectations. My plans are not for you to simply get by, but to thrive and grow, shaped continually by hope. Even when I reveal things within you that need reshaping, I do so with the kindness of a healer, not the coldness of a judge. I see the places within you where disappointment has taken root, where self-doubt has quietly diminished your dreams. I come to pull out those roots, replacing fear with a sturdy confidence that stands not on shifting opinions but on my delight in who you were created to be. Perhaps you sense the limits of your own power and are haunted by moments when you have tried with all your might, only to feel exhausted or let down. These are not signs of failure, but clarion invitations to dependence on me. I never tire. I never abandon. My resources are endless, and my patience extends far beyond your capacity to weary. Each day you have the opportunity to lay aside the cloak of self-sufficiency and let me robe you in the peace of being led by one who knows you fully and loves you deeply. When you are tempted to compare your journey to the journeys of others, either feeling small or secretly believing you must outpace them, remember that my love is not measured in any competition or comparison. Your uniqueness is my delight. The qualities that set you apart are not flaws to be hidden, but gifts to be celebrated. Let us move together into a vision of life not dominated by fear or scarcity, but by anticipation. Destiny unfolds not just in grand moments, but in the daily, sometimes unnoticed exchanges and gestures of love. Even now, I am orchestrating connections, timing, and opportunities that will surprise you, ways in which your presence will bless others, and their presence will nurture you. There is a richness available when you choose to enter each day, expectant, asking not just for things, but for the eyes to perceive my activity in what you already have. Gratitude opens doors to my presence in remarkable ways. As you give thanks for what is, I multiply it, revealing layers of meaning and purpose that deepen your joy and renew your hope. Remember, my intention for you is not a life defined by restlessness, but by steady, growing trust. I am not done offering you new beginnings. No matter what lies behind, I continuously make a way forward, and I rejoice each time you dare to believe that the best is not yet behind you. Each setback can be a seed for greater growth, not simply a defeat to mourn. When you allow me to shape your perspective, you begin to recognize how even the parts of your story you would rather erase can become places of testimony where my grace was most visible. You are not your regrets. You are, my beloved, chosen for ongoing transformation. As you face new challenges, remember that I do not leave you to fend for yourself. I impart wisdom, generously wisdom, for decisions, for relationships, for restoring what seems beyond repair. At times, my answers may be subtle, but never absent. I speak in gentle nudges, in sudden clarity, in peace that washes over confusion. Cultivate a quiet space to listen. In silence, you will often sense more of my presence than in the noise and hurry. Trust what you sense in those moments of calm. You are closer to me than you sometimes dare to believe. My voice always leads to life, never to diminishment or condemnation. You are being formed continually, not only for yourself, but so that through your transformed heart, others might find their own way to the light. Your compassion, humility, and resilience are not accidental traits. I am shaping you so that your life becomes a living invitation, a testament to the reality that transformation is possible with me. Do not underestimate the influence of a surrendered life. Small acts of grace ripple out, changing the atmosphere around you and inviting others to hope. If you stumble, remember that falling is never the end in my story. I do not define you by your lowest moments. Rather, I extend my hand again and again, not with disappointment, but with unwavering belief in who I know you can become. Every time you choose to get up, every time you trust me enough to try again, you write a new chapter defined not by defeat, but by resilience and grace. I am with you in every moment of arising, cheering you on as the author and finisher of your faith. Trust that there is more for you, more joy, more depth, more freedom than you have yet imagined. Let my love expand the boundaries of your hope, for I delight to do more than you ask or imagine. You are safe to hope, safe to expect goodness, because I am the one who holds your future, and I take delight in unveiling it, step by step, alongside you. There are moments when you sense the stirring of something new deep within you, a gentle prompting that encourages you to move beyond your comfort and into the unknown. Trust this stirring, for it is not born of your imagination or fleeting thoughts. It is my spirit guiding you to places where your faith can grow, where your love can be tested and made stronger. Nothing I ask of you is meant to crush you or to steal your peace. Even in the trials, I come beside you holding your hand, ensuring that your heart will not be overwhelmed. Every step you take beyond your personal borders allows me to reveal more of myself to you, and in turn allows your life to shine ever brighter in a world shadowed by fear and doubt. When you feel yourself shrinking back or hesitating, remember that I do not rush you. I move at the pace your heart can handle. My patience with you is endless, enduring, stretching far beyond what you can grasp. I am not disappointed when you stumble or need to pause. Your journey is precious to me in all its stages, both the swift ascents and the quiet valleys. Even your doubts are invitations for an honest conversation with me. Let them lead you deeper into seeking, asking, and listening for my voice. In every question you bring, I delight in responding, not always with immediate answers, but often with my calming presence, so that you learn to rest in me even when the mystery remains. You often wonder if you are enough, strong enough, wise enough, loving enough. I see that longing to be better, that desire to carry out your purpose perfectly. But listen closely. Your worth is not measured by your ability to perform. It is anchored in my unwavering love. I chose you before you made a single decision, before you did anything to impress or disappoint. My eyes saw you in the secret places and declared you precious, beloved, and wanted. In moments when you are weighed down by your own evaluation of yourself, lean into me. Let me carry the verdict about your life, for my judgment is one of mercy and boundless grace. The world may demand endless striving, but I invite you to abide in me, to let my strength fill your gaps, my peace quiet your guilt, and my joy restore your hope. There is a sacred rhythm to life that I crafted just for you, a dance of rest and labor, of giving and receiving. I call you to work with all your heart in the places I have planted you, but also to return to me, to be refreshed and restored. When you neglect your rest, when you strive so relentlessly that your soul grows weary, remember that I designed rest not as weakness, but as a testament to your trust in me. Allow yourself to lay aside the burdens of the day and be held by my presence. In your stillness I whisper my affection. In your quiet I tend to wounds no one else can see. Trust that when you make space for silence with me, you will find wisdom, strength, and a peace that cannot be shaken by the noise around you. Do not allow fear to speak louder than my promises, the voices that tell you it is too late, that you are too broken, or that there is no way forward are not from me. I am the restorer of what has been lost, the healer of every fracture, and the author of every new beginning. Trust me with your disappointments and the dreams that have not come to pass. As you bring your heart to me, poured out and honest, I gather every thread and story and weave them into a purpose more beautiful than you can imagine. You may not always see it in the moment, but nothing is wasted in my hands. Even your tears are seeds that one day will bloom with joy and testimony. Let your love overflow. Wherever you go, you are my ambassador, carrying the fragrance of my mercy and kindness. Let your words build and heal rather than tear down. When you encounter difficult people, remember my patience and how freely I have forgiven you. Extend the same mercy, not because it is always easy or deserved, but because such is the nature of the love I have placed in you. Your acts of kindness, no matter how small, echo into eternity. When you serve, do so as unto me, for I am delighted by even the simplest gift given from a sincere heart. In loving others, you reveal my heart to a world desperate for a glimpse of real hope. Let go of the illusion that you must do this life alone. From the beginning, I have called you into community, into relationships that can reflect the beauty of my triune nature. Seek out fellowship. Stand with others in prayer, share your burdens, and celebrate your victories together. Let yourself be known and allow others to be known by you. There is no shame in needing help, no failure in admitting when you are weary. In fact, this vulnerability is often where my presence is most powerfully felt. I created you for connection, for mutual encouragement and growth. If you have been hurt before, trust me to gently restore and lead you to safe places and people who will remind you of my goodness. Your life is not insignificant, nor are your days unimportant to me. I see every moment, every choice, every act of courage or kindness. You have more influence than you realize, and your faith, quiet or bold, has the power to light up the places around you. Keep walking with humility, grounded in my love, allowing me to guide your steps and use your life as a testimony of my grace. Nothing is wasted, and as you surrender each day to my leading, you will be surprised by the impact you leave behind. There will always be distractions and temptations that seek to pull your heart away from what truly matters, to lure your attention to things that do not satisfy. Guard your heart with diligence. Let my word find its dwelling in you, shaping your thoughts, motives, and decisions. Return to me as often as you need, confessing anything that weighs you down, and receive my forgiveness and renewal. I am always ready to give you a fresh start. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small, along the way. Notice the signs of growth, the quiet progress you make in becoming more loving, more patient, more compassionate. Let gratitude be the song you sing back to me, for I am always at work in and through you. Do not wait for perfection to rejoice. I celebrate every step you take with me, every moment your heart opens wider to my presence. My love is more constant than the rising sun, and my purposes for you reach further than you can see. My beloved, as you come to the close of this sacred conversation, know that every word spoken over you has been wrapped in my unwavering love and personal attention. My voice has been present with every sigh of your heart, attentive to every hope, every wound, every silent question that rises within you. I desire for you to remember that nothing is hidden from me, not your pain, not your triumphs, not even the confusion that sometimes clouds your mind. I see how you keep searching for meaning in the shifting shadows of your world, and I long for you to understand that you will always find what you seek most when you choose stillness in my presence. When you quiet the chorus of doubt and expectation, you will notice how my whisper cuts clearly through every noise, reminding you that you are seen, cherished, and deeply known. Never let the weight of your past or fear of your future keep you from returning to me. Guilt, shame, regret, these are burdens that I did not place on your shoulders. I invite you to let each one slide away in the light of my forgiveness. Your story is not defined by your lowest moments. Rather, it is woven from every small step you have taken toward me, sometimes trembling, sometimes bold, but all precious to me. My compassion is renewed for you constantly. I do not grow weary of loving you. There is never a moment when I tire of hearing your voice or carrying your burdens alongside you. Your need never exhausts me. It delights me when you trust me enough to ask, to question, to weep before me, and to celebrate victories that may seem hidden from other eyes but are radiant to mine. As you move forward, consider what it means to belong fully to grace. I have not called you to strive for perfection apart from me, but to rest in the completeness of my work within you. My strength shines best in the places you admit your weakness. When the winds of difficulty rise against you, do not measure your worth by what is lost or by your ability to control every outcome. Instead, watch for my faithfulness in the gentle provision, in the unexpected moments of beauty and connection, in the peace that persists even when explanations are out of reach. When it seems that no progress is being made, remember that my spirit often works in quiet, subtle ways. Roots grow deep below the surface long before fruit bursts forth into the light. I am cultivating depths within you that you cannot yet imagine, preparing you for victories and callings you have not yet glimpsed. Do not be discouraged if your journey feels slow or your hope flickers. Every step you take matters in my eyes, even in confusion or fatigue. Even when you feel you are walking in circles, be assured that I am always beside you, never withdrawing my hand. I do not withdraw my promises or my presence. Both remain forever. When you stumble or take a detour, bring your heart to me quickly. There is room enough for all your confusion and messiness in the vastness of my embrace. You will never exhaust the supply of my mercy. Let your heart breathe deeply and rest, knowing you cannot outpace my grace or outrun my love. In the coming days, you will encounter moments that threaten to unsettle your trust, to render you anxious or cynical in the face of world-wearying headlines and personal disappointments. In those moments, pause and recall that my peace is not fragile. It does not shatter when confronted with hardship. My peace stands guard around your heart and mind, and will always outlast whatever storm arrives. Your circumstances do not define your security. My promise does. Hold fast to the gentle assurance that no power in earth or spirit can snatch you from my loving grasp. If you feel unseen or overlooked, remember how attentively I regard you, cherishing every detail of your life. When others rush past, when your voice feels drowned out by the noise of ambition or comparison, remember, I hear you, I know you, I choose you again and again. Bring your disappointments, your exhaustion, even your anger, bring them honestly into my light. I will exchange them for courage, hope, and new vision. I waste nothing, not your failures, not your sorrow, not the slow seasons of waiting. I turn even the ashes of disappointment into the soil of greater joy. There are dreams within you that seem dormant, but I delight in resurrecting hope. If your heart aches with unrealized longing, do not abandon it in despair. Invite me into that place. I knit together patience and purpose within you, orchestrating all things for your ultimate good, even when you cannot trace my hand at work. Watch, trust, and let your heart be expectant. There is blessing for you in the waiting, strength for you in the struggle, and sweet satisfaction waiting in communion with me. Ask me to help you see your life from the higher vantage of my love. I call you to walk in freedom, not the illusion of independence, but the liberating trust that flows from knowing you are held, guarded, treasured, and purposed beyond measure. Refuse the old chains of fear. They are powerless over the one who walks in step with my spirit. Lift your head, breathe deeply, and remember that your life is already marked by grace and destined for glory. Celebrate even the smallest hints of progress, and do not despise what appears unfinished in yourself or others. My craftsmanship is patient and precise. I always complete what I begin. You are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, cheered on by my angels, sustained by the prayers of saints before you, and carried by the strength of my presence today. Nothing will separate you from my love, not hardship or doubt, not sin or frailty, not future fear or present failures. My hand upon your life is mighty to restore, to guide, to heal. I do not look at you through the lens of others' expectations or your own limitations. I see you through the mercy of my Son, radiant and beloved. Rise each day and let my words fill your thoughts. Invite me into every ordinary moment and sacred longing. Open your hands in trust instead of closing them in anxious grasping. When you feel the old habits pulling you into despair, pause, breathe, and return to me in honesty. There, you will always find welcome. There, you will always be understood, restored, and equipped to move forward unafraid. Never forget that you are my treasure, my delight, my chosen child. Live this day aware of my nearness. Stand strong in hope, sink your roots deep in love, and share the grace and truth you have received freely. The world needs what I plant uniquely within you. Keep your heart soft, your vision set on what is eternal, and your spirit attuned to my gentle leading. I go before you, I surround you, and I live within you. Amen. Now, go in my blessing and let my love